Today we're talking about highlights, and I am not talking about your hair, but your Instagram profile. Let's go over and do this. Hey Boring Business Owners, and welcome to my channel where I help your message get seen in that cluttered newsfeed. If you're looking to crush it with social media and online marketing, you're going to want to make sure you hit that subscribe button below. So miss any more videos from this channel are going to help you with your social media and online marketing goals. So, highlights. Now I went over this in my Instagram 101 where I break down like what the interface and stuff looks like. But in case you missed it, watch the video here. Or highlights are going to be how you store and save specific Instagram stories that you do to your profile so that you can kind of keep referencing them. People can keep watching them. You can get a whole lot of really great information about them. But if your Instagram stories suck, you're not going to really have any reason to save them, and no one's going to have any reason to watch them. So make sure you grab my freebie down in the description below. It's going to give you a whole stock library of images for Instagram stories and also for your Instagram newsfeed. I partnered up with Crystal Clear Photography. My very dear friend Crystal did a great job of putting together this stock library in tandem with me to make sure that you have awesome content to share on stories and also in your feed to give you a really solid foundation heading into this whole Instagram for business world that you're diving into with me. So why exactly would you want to save your Instagram stories? Well, if you've put a lot of time and thought into something, or maybe you have like a really particular good rant, or maybe you went to this really awesome event and you really want to keep the love going for longer. Maybe you've shared a lot of information, you're just trying to tell a story. Whatever the reasons are for keeping your Instagram stories, highlights is a great way for people to really dive into specific categories of your life that you have been talking about on stories. So if you go over to my Instagram home feed, I have a lot of different ones. I talk about like my podcasts, my live shows, talk about events and speaking events I go to, my family, and I post about them sporadically on a daily basis, but I organize the really good ones, the ones I really like, the ones that turn out really good, or the ones that got a lot of views, and I save them into that highlight so that people can really understand who I am as a brand. When you're deciding what categories you should be using, well, that kind of goes back to what we talked about with hashtags, which is where you want to pick a couple of categories that have to do with your business so that you're building that hashtag list around it. Well, you should have very similar categories for your highlights as well. A big part of my brand is as follows: video, podcast, family, military life, speaking, social media, and online marketing. These are all things I talk about all the time on my gram, and I save the ones I find to be really good, really thoughtful, and that people were engaging with me on and commenting on, and I got a lot of views on. I have created this video right here.
I'm spending a lot of time doing videos for my new YouTube series called Instagram for Business, where I'm really diving into everything you need to know about using Instagram for your business. What tips do you have? I'd love to share them.
Okay, so that's the story I created just literally for this training to help you show you. So what I want to do is I'm going to go down to highlights, and I'm going to add it to a different bucket. So this is related to video. So this is adding that video to my highlights. So as you can see, when I have added my newest highlight, it moves that highlight section. So before my family was first, now it's video life. So if you go into here, and you watch all of these, it's different things I'm doing video, like when I created my set for my office, the different things I'm doing, the stuff I'm creating, milestones I've hit. And then as you can see, this was the most recent one, and you can see I have stuff going back like weeks and weeks so that you know what's like kind of going on there. So how can you use highlights? So I would suggest using highlights for a lot of different things. I think showing off the behind the scenes of your life to be really valuable. So you will almost always see stuff about my kids as a part of my feed because family is a very important part of my life. I love sharing the books I'm reading and I listen to. I'm a big book listener. I recently have like a new biz I did with my friend, and I just kind of wanted to highlight that and save it for something later. I talk about military life because I have a segment on my YouTube channel called Military Marketing Monday, and I just kind of share with people different stuff that's going on. I have this big conference that I go to every year, and I'm highlighting all of my things from that. I talk about my podcast a lot, and so with my podcast, I'm sharing like my newest guests, what we're talking about, what's been going on, all of that fun stuff. You should be using highlights in a very similar way for your business. Let me go show you what one of my very good friends Crystal is doing with highlights for her. So she has a couple different things that she's done. Like she has these cool like color palettes that she's done, different flat lays that she's done. She does a lot of quote and photo images because her business is all around brands and stuff. Like, you know, from the beginning, she and I partnered together to create those stock photos that you can use for your Instagram feed. Another person that I really like that uses these really cute is Amy Landino. She does a lot with like where she lives, being a wife, what's on her bookshelf. So she's created all these really cute icons for different things on her highlights, and she has them right there in the front, matching her brand and what she has going on. So that is how I use highlights. That's how you should be using highlights as well. Build the story of your brand. That's really what you're doing with your Instagram profile anyway. You're building a story of who you are and what you have going on and what you have to offer this world. And highlights is the way to capture and tell the story of that through the stories that you have been making for your Instagram. If you have any questions about stories or highlights, please let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you grab the freebie of stock photos that we have for you down in the description below. Crystal and I spent a lot of time putting this together, like I mentioned before, but you definitely want to go over to her channel where she talks about how to create great photo content for your social media and online needs. Make sure you watch the next video in this series right here. And like we always say in military life is never goodbye, it is see you soon. So until next time, I'll see you soon.